sent me a screenshot. He said, "Yo, Meek sells shout outs for $5,000." I couldn't believe it. That's one level of getting killed, and then I'm like, nah, Drake can't get killed like that. And even if you think about the Ja Rule effect, Ja Rule's, he got some bops, but Ja's run was like, 4 or 5 years of him being like the guy. The fan base that Drake got, like Drake got music that is matched. Think about the last 15 years of your life. Think about it. Bro, I was 19 years old. 19 fucking years old, my nigga. 19 years old, just listening to Drake and just so like enamored because that nigga's music was matching what I was going through at that time in college, like kind of growing and maturing as a young male. I've listened to his music for 15 years afterwards. Sometimes it's not always like I'm like, oh, it just completely matches, because sometimes he's talking about shit I'm like, I ain't there yet, but get it. It's impossible for you to just be like, oh, fuck this guy who's given a 15-year soundtrack to your life. And by the way, that goes for even Kendrick and definitely even Cole. This is why the whole thing with Cole apologizing, I do think Cole could never talk too crazy on the level of, he can't talk too crazy, like, that the masses will like, fuck with him, like, oh yeah, Cole, keep talking all that shit. But his fan base ain't gonna desert him. Them people at Dreamville Fest ain't gonna desert him. I watched Cole come to my college at Rutgers University, and he sold out like the fucking gym there. And people who I know went to that concert, sorry, I think it's allergies. People who went to that concert went to concerts 12 years later. Like, that guy has been in their life. It's like the soundtrack of their life. Like, they're not gonna be like, oh, he apologized to Kendrick, fuck him. Now, J. Cole isn't that for me. And even then, I still like his music. Still think he's dope. I just don't think he can say he's the best. But the people who love him, they're not gonna abandon his music. Even if they think he shouldn't talk that best shit. What the fuck? Sorry, Chad. Okay. Alright. But yeah. Just look. Just look at these comments. OVO. Like, look at these comments. Drake knows his core. Drake know her. What? Core fan base is 14 and under.
31 years, dude. What the fuck is wrong?
Is she singing? Why are they calling Drake she? Is she singing off key? What key is she in? A minor? Like, well, yo, what's up with these comments? Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. They're quoting Kendrick Lamar. And so I'm like scrolling down. Bro, I probably read like 3,000 comments last night because I'm like, all right, I want to see recurring comments because I know how to like decipher bot comments. And I'm kind of going, I'm like, damn, I think there's a decent amount of people, whether they're trolling or not, I don't know, but they're not rocking with Drake right now, which is kind of interesting because we would have to give that credit to culturally how Kendrick framed the argument or the issue with him and Drake. He made it kind of unpopular or uncultural to fuck with Drake within the moment. I'm not saying people are going to just not fuck with his music. By the way, I still think he's going to be the most popular artist still. But it kind of shows that, damn, maybe Kendrick has caused, at least in the interim, a little bit of a hiccup for Drake. And I'm like, fuck, that is crazy. So Brad Blunt, I agree with you with that synopsis. DeMarco Smith says the numbers are to push, because whatever he say, the industry gonna listen. That's what being a legend means. Drake could never shake him. Okay. Northside Capo, thinking for 5, he says Charlamagne had the best point. Drake ain't gonna change music. He not gonna let KOD Ja rule him and take him out of his lane. The red song is his lane. This red song is his lane. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, so I guess the point that was being made, and I think I heard Charlamagne say it too, when Ja Rule was being attacked, even though I just think it's impossible for Drake to be Ja Rule. Like, it's just impossible. Again, people love Drake way more than they've ever loved Ja Rule. But anyway, the term Ja Rule, a lot of people are saying it's not only because Ja was beefing with certain people who were, very popular, and there was kind of like maybe a little 20v1 situation there. Ja Rule turned into the artist that was trying to now portray thuggism. Not saying he wasn't a nigga from the street or whatever the case is, but his music and his hit songs, what would I do without your baby? Like all these songs, you know what I mean? Like, I'm real, the way. I don't know why I'm trying to sound like the Cookie Monster when I'm trying to, Ja Rule, don't get mad at me. But the songs that were popping off were like, it's not, like, must be the, whatever. Anyway, all of these songs by Ja were like, songs for the ladies, songs that were dope, that were just kind of cool. And then when he started beefing, he felt like he was almost surrounded, so he stopped making those songs and started making I'm a Thug songs. Like, yo, I'm gonna fuck y'all niggas up, fuck you, and you know what I mean? We gonna clap back, I like that record, I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna clap back, and I ain't gonna lie, definitely did like the record. I got 100 guns, 100 clip. Like, he started making more aggressive type records. And yeah, maybe people gave him a little bit of respect because he was trying to defend himself in a battle sense, but people were probably looking at him like, yo, bro, go get J-Lo, nigga, and go do another record, my nigga. What the fuck are you doing? We don't want to hear you being tough. We want to hear you singing the hoes, you know what I mean? With that little smirk or whatever on your face. And I guess to Charlamagne's point, he was saying Drake isn't gonna let this battle, right, change how he puts out music. Which means if he puts out music with Sexy Red, he's still gonna put out music with Sexy Red. If he likes working with Yachty, or likes dressing like Yachty, or likes painting his nails like Yachty, he's still gonna do songs with Yachty, likes working with Yachty, and still gonna, paint his nails. Might be actually a valid point. Really valid point, to be honest. But yeah, I was surprised, man. I'm like, what the fuck? It was just it was so much hate comments, like so fucking much. So much. It was so much hate comments. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why is everybody like, are people like, again, like I understand the concept of people like, oh no, Drake, they believe that Drake, didn't get the upside in the battle according to them. Like, I get that, so you want to troll that person, right? But, I don't know, I'm feeling like it's a little bit too much, man. I don't know. Anyway, his streams are still going up. Modita, that's not nice for you to say. Told me I'm getting cream pie by Drizzy. Oh my God, what type of Diddy stuff you want? Stop it. Drill says, shout out to my man Drill, he cuts up all these clips. He says, Drake fans ain't gonna stop loving Drake because of Kendrick. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've always said this. Up until 2015, Drake fans used to clown Drake. It's like a lot of y'all, I'm not gonna call y'all fans of mine, but y'all are in the audience, y'all chat niggas. Y'all clown the shit out of me. Y'all have everything to say about me. But anytime a nigga gets at me, or anytime you see like, yo, it's defense squad mode, like, I can't remember one of the first times I've seen that. I think definitely on Everyday Struggle too, when y'all felt like, like people were picking on me or whatever. Like, yo, I saw y'all were really going in, bro. I'm telling you. And that's the relationship I thought Drake had with his fans. Yeah, like, Drake fans kind of, like, because Drake is like a emotion almost damn near. So, they, they love his music, but they'll make fun of him too. And then when the Meek shit happened, oh my God, Drake fans activated. When the Meek shit happened, they activated. And, afterwards, I think there's a lot of people that start liking Drake, so it wasn't that type of thing. This is just an interesting time where it sounds crazy, but I think that Kendrick fans are trying to still convince themselves that Kendrick won. It's kind of sad. Like, they're trying to convince themselves that Kendrick won by, like, still wilding out. You know what I mean? They're like, let's show the effect of Kendrick, which if you are a fan of Kendrick or just a random fan and you said, hey, qualitatively you thought that Kendrick's music was better during this battle, hey, more power to you. Like, that's a good opinion. I can't knock it. If you thought Drake's, I can't knock that either. But Kendrick fans seems like the only way they could kind of get the win for Kendrick, they got to be doing the most. Which, maybe I'm wrong with it. I don't know. All right, anyway. Speaking of which, somebody says, yo, Drake jumped on Sexy Red, You My Everything. right? And they said that shit was not good, right? But they're talking about, have you heard about J. Cole, who jumped on like pretty much the hottest artist out of New York right now, which is Cash Cobain? He has a song called Grippy, right? J. Cole jumped on the song. Oh my God. This shit is like, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's exactly what you would think of when you would think of one of these pro-black, super militant, Dr. Umar Johnson type of niggas trying to finesse a chick from out of some pussy. You know what I mean? Just sounding mad, like just out of touch, right? Anyway, this is another thing I keep saying about the Kendrick shit though. Look, okay, these are objective points, I think. Yo, they didn't like the Sexy Red and Drake song. They didn't like the Cash Cobain and J. Cole song. But then they quote Kendrick. Them superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch and sound like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Like, it's crazy because everybody is giving Kendrick the credit for anything they don't like about Drake or anything Drake does. It's kind of anyway. Extremius Clippius. I like that name. By the way, 3 Diglets, thank you for saying this is accurate overthinking this whole thing. Am I? E-Black, thank you for the 20. He says, yo, welcome to every Meek Mill's fan reality. We was wondering how the culture betrayed him for a Canadian rapper. It's over, son. E-Black, that's a good point too, right? I think what we realize is that when you're a gangster rapper, with all due respect, when you're a gangster rapper and you rap ignorance, like, and you know, I'm gonna throw these rappers into the mix. I'm not trying to disrespect them, but this is who they are. If you're 21 Savage, if you're Chief Keef, if you're Waka Flocka, if you're Meek Mill, even if you're Future, and I know somebody be like, well, Future is more of like, he's a street rapper, but he's not like a gangster rapper, whatever. When you have rapped about debauchery and fuckery for the majority of your career, you can't then try to play the cultural card. The person to play the cultural card is a soapbox type card, and you can also be advocating for black genocide, right? So Meek can't be like, yo, I'm what the culture is feeling. No, the culture isn't feeling the nigga who's saying, let's spin the blocks and spin the blocks and spin the blocks. No, it makes sense for someone like Kendrick or someone like Cole, right? I think that's the, you know, the culture didn't turn its back on Meek. I just don't think those people could use the cultural card unless they have a real, some real action, or it's a white man going against them, right? If they're going against a legit white man, yes. If they're going against, I don't know, maybe if they got, you know, because we all know in my community, a nigga could have 59 warrants, 35 felons. He could be a 96-time convicted felon. If the police arrest him or profile him, they're gonna march for that nigga. We gonna be, why did y'all, like, come on, like, what? Yeah, nigga, I looked up his name. This nigga said he's a decorated felon. Of course I profile this bitch ass. But in the black community, we will ride for that guy because even though you've gotten convicted of 96 felonies, for your 97th, the police should treat you and act like you're an angel, okay? So in that case, we'll ride out for the gangster nigga, but not in the case of like a hip-hop type of context. We're not gonna ride out for Meek Mill trying to like what the fuck is, and also here's the thing too. Most gangster rappers, because they lead with violence and, oh, I'm like that, trenches, streets, they don't even know how to frame or use the cultural card because their music, they've never stood for anything. The thing with Kendrick is that there's always been, even if he talked about the violence he saw, the things that was going on around him that people could be like, oh, that was kind of staticky. He always showed that he was someone that was for the progression of the black plight. He was someone that, you know, when people like, oh, he's for us. So, of course, they're going to rock for, like, Kendrick. They're not going to rock. Yo, if Chief Keef, again, obviously, he wouldn't be no rap battle, but if Chief Keef tried to, like, frame himself versus somebody else to say, yo, at least the streets fuck with me, or, yo, the culture fucks with me. No, we don't fuck with, like, I mean, we love him, but we don't fuck with the nigga who is basically, like, the clear war on the block right next to him. Like, you know what I mean? And basically smoked on every dead child that's been in Chicago. No. So I actually resent people saying that the culture betrayed Meek Mill. No, Meek's not clever enough to put it in that way, and I don't think gangster rappers could use that card. I don't think so. Okay. You see that Meek fan trying to jump up in this shit? Amin Dana, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Thank you for the Canadian donation, which I'm guessing you're from Canada. He says there's far too many things that refer to when it comes to Drake compared to KOD. Even Diddy Truth came out eventually, and he was denying things all along. Drake became more defensive and deflected every other line. That looks bad. Which, by the way, that's another point that I believe Charlemagne said. Drake playing any type of defense or playing, deflection games makes him look worse. I'm not sure if that's the thing that sinks him, but I understand that. Like, for example, Drake flat out said in push-ups, the whole premise is drop and give me 50. Basically saying, yo, you're giving 50% away to this guy who tells you what to do. Literally drop and give me 50, nigga. Right? You gotta drop your music, give me 50. Also, if I tell you to go do something, you better do it. That's the same, drop and give me 50. What does Kendrick come back and say instead of saying, oh no, I own all my shit? You know what he says? He says, speaking about splits, he said, you show me your splits, and then I'll get back with you. I'll double back with you. Like, he basically didn't answer it at all. He didn't answer it at all. He didn't answer it at all. He accused him of getting extorted by Top. What Kendrick said? Kendrick said, he basically said, he shout out to Top, and he says, yo, he said, extortion is my middle name. When you get off that plane, what's up? Kendrick never really answered to nothing that Drake said. He was just kind of like, felt like he got his own mission going on, and he was just going. He didn't give two fucks. But I do think it's hard to like keep arguing when a nigga like throws in like the pedophile thing. You know what I mean? It's one thing is like, oh, your contract's fucked up. It's another thing when a nigga saying you're fucking kids, and there was already little weird things out there that people were trying to latch onto. So I don't know if Drake, if he just ignored it, it would have worked. But that's a good opinion. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Fine. Dejon Watson says, Drake should have sent a cease and desist to the record. Parker says, yeah, it's natural hate. Kendrick opened the door. So you think there's just hate on Drake? Holy shit. Najee Okafor, he says, yo, Bow Wow was doing Drake numbers with CD sales before stream. Yo, I hate when y'all just compare everybody to Drake. Like, if you compare Drake's pop appeal to some of these guys, maybe there's, yeah, Nelly was doing wild numbers. Bro, did Nelly have the heart and the souls of these people like that, bro? Like niggas have grown up on Drake. Like, the same way how people love, put it like this. Drake is a pop artist and Jay-Z at the same time. There's people who grew up on Jay, right? Who just loves everything Jay has said. There's people who grew up on Nas. Love everything Nas has said, even DMX. Then he's just had a shit ton of hit records, so you can't just compare him to Bow Wow. I don't think, if Bow Wow had people rocking with him and loving him to the level that his music connected beyond the hits and was just part of their lives and they felt they knew him, I don't think he'd be like, like, is he doing a reality show? I don't know what he's doing, but I don't think he'd be in a different place, bro. Or maybe just music evolved, because these days people do care much more about your outside the music stuff, or make sure the music is congruent with your life. Anyway, Parker also said Kendrick made it okay to hate on Drake in public. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Brad Blunt says, what about, and by the way, Najee Okafor, thank you for that was your 20th donation. Damn, thank you, my boy. Brad Blunt says, or maybe people don't fuck with the songs. I highly don't believe that people don't fuck with Family Matters. And even though people want to say it's a white flag with The Hard Part 6, I'm sorry. The Hard Part 6 is a really good song, especially from a rapper perspective. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm not believing that. The Sexy Red song, I'll give it to you. The Sexy Red song is like, Pick the Cools. He says, yo, can't listen to Stick Talk in falsetto. Was hilarious. I still feel like he lost though. Okay. Miguel RT says, what does Diddy and K Dot have in common? They both beat women. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people just kind of skip past that whole thing with Kendrick. Like, and that goes back to the last person who commented. I guess maybe you don't have to respond to everything, because I know pedophilia is like a very crazy accusations, but accusations of abusing women is too, and Kendrick didn't seem to give a fuck. Like we didn't even see Kendrick try to go out of his way to post a picture with his wife to let people know, like, nah, we good over here, nigga. Like, to keep it real, you know what's interesting? Like, Kendrick's wife even, or like his girl, nigga, she wished herself a Mother's Day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nigga, once I seen this, I was like, Drake might be right, but nobody give a fuck. You know what I mean? She said, happy birthday to me. If a woman is saying happy birthday to her goddamn self, you know shit ain't sweet at the crib. That's the day women flex on other bitches with gifts from their man and by showing out with their man and their kids. She posted up happy birthday to me and happy Mother's Day to all the real ones. Tells me that it's not a happy home, or maybe they're separated, but it doesn't confirm anything about abuse. And also, you know, she didn't do what Drake would probably have wanted her to do, which would clearly signal that, you know, whatever he's saying is true. Because even if they are taking a break, okay, is that like that's not like a got you, right? So yeah. 3 Diglets. He also says, ain't been the same since nothing was the same. Stop it, 3 Diglets. You wildin', my boy. John Blue, he says, you are not giving music fans credit when it comes to the dislikes. Why couldn't it be simply that the Sexy Red is just trash, even with Drake on it? John Blue, I'm giving you that credit, that this Sexy Red song is not that good. And again, we've heard mid songs, trash songs. A 20% like ratio or 80% dislike ratio is kind of exorbitant. And if this was just a one-off, fine. Family Matters, which a lot of people like, getting 500,000 dislikes is, and then also the Hard Part 6. I don't think the majority of conversation is that those songs are trash, my boy. That's why I'm actually bringing this up, right? Chicago Lives, or Chicago Lives, maybe that's it. It says, it's definitely trendy to hate Drake right now. BBL Drizzy was huge and a brilliant chess move. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give Metro that credit. I didn't think that him dropping the beat for BBL Drizzy was going to, and by the way, I don't think it's necessarily the beat. I think he started a challenge and fans wanted to get active in this beef anyway. Like, he did one of the old school, remember like labels used to try to start up challenges to promote a song? Like, I remember infamously like the labels for like the Black Beetle, like remember the Black Beatles song from Ray Shremmerd, when they were they were starting it up where people were doing the mannequin challenge, and you know, they were obviously pushing that. I thought the overt attempt to try to make a challenge shit was over though. Like, these days that's moved on to TikTok. There's all little strategies try to get that pop in there. But Metro just put out a beat. The sample was already out there. He just put some drums to it. Literally what Drake said. Metro, shut your ass up and make some drums. He literally shut his ass up and made some drums to an already existing sample. And everybody jumped in. You could go on TikTok and see so many different people, right? Like BBL Drizzy, TikTok. You could just find so many people on there, just kind of like getting it in.
I'm listening.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The worst part about this showcase, and this is what. So you know how Drake used AI? This is what AI, before Drake, embraced it. AI showed people that, yeah, we love Drake and we love Kendrick, but there's really creative motherfuckers out there that just aren't Drake, who aren't Kendrick, but if they had to write some bars or if they had to make a product, they could make products that people could actually consider and be like, wait, is this Drake? Is this Kendrick? That's what AI did. It taught people that even though we love these great, talented, smart, creative musicians, there were so many more talented people in the world. What this BBL Drizzy shit did was kind of open it up, and you're like, wow, there's dumb amount of talented people. Like, look at this shit. Nah, this shit, I've never even heard this. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, this sounds like a different sample. By the way, this is the talk box that I think this is the talk box technology that was used on. So it's not even auto-tune. It's called like Talkbox, I believe. It was used on Computer Love. Yeah, Computer Love Talkbox. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. I think there's a performance with the guy doing it. Is it? Yeah, you put this little thing in your mouth. Almost looks like, you're fucking hookah. Let me see if I can find the original. Oh yeah, here it goes. Shoot me the bop, shoot you up, I wanna love you. Shoot me the bop, shoot me the bop, shoot you up, I wanna love you. Yeah, I always thought this sounded better than auto-tune in certain cases. But yeah, Computer Love. Yeah, anyway. This guy brings it back, and he's using the I ain't gonna lie, this sounds fire. One thing I'll admit that I was wrong about, chat. When I first heard Not Like Us, and I first even heard the BBL Drizzy shit, I'm like, it's no way niggas are going to be dancing outside of this battle and beef to Drake being a pedophile and Drake having a BBL. It just seems odd. Like, people like dancing to, yo, bitch, suck my dick, or like, yo, she got a fat ass. Like, I didn't think people would dance to clowning Drake. Like, this shit's crazy. Like, you have to realize the context of the song, yeah, it might sound catchy, is Drake got a BBL. And remember Drake commented, was like, nigga, you made a beat by my ass? Right? And in the other, you know, with Not Like Us, is like, yo, Drake like little kids. Like, I don't think people could foresee that being the shit that no niggas don't give a fuck about dancing to. Nah, this shit's on fire. Nah, that's fire. Somebody got sampled that. Yo, people are fucking talented, man. I kid you not. Anyway, let me see. Voxzilla, thank you for the 8 English pounds. She says, yo, Ack, you gotta realize, man, people have outgrown Drake's music. It hasn't evolved that much, and when it does, it's off the back of somebody else's wave. That's his problem. Voxzilla, do we actually believe that, though? And I know somebody gonna be in the comments saying, yo, Ack is just copping a plea, or he's doing tricks on it. Like, yo, relax. I'm really asking that question. For All the Dogs, it was an R&B album, mostly in the first part. Then the Scary Hour version came out, a little bit more rap. Again, I'm not saying that Drake's music, I'm not saying For All the Dogs is a classic, but it's still a good album. Are we acting like, yo, people are just over Drake? Y'all let me know. Extremious Clips, thank you for the 10. He says, I agree with you. Drake has been the soundtrack to Lies, but it's now time to hang it up. This is where, like, that statement alone. No one was saying this before, like, 6 months ago. Are you telling me it takes that quickly? Where people were, like, there was a conversation that Drake's still gonna run this shit for another 10 years. There's nobody who's even close to, you know, being in the realm of competing with Drake for his position in the game at this point. And people thought, yo, he might have another 10-year run. And you're telling me just all of a sudden it's just snapped, it's just switched, and people are just saying it's time for him to hang it up, like it's over? Then he continues and says, in the past 5 years, he's given us Rich Baby Daddy, Tootsie Slides, and Girls Want Girls. Just trash. Well, I would say there's been a lot of other tracks. Like, you might not like those tracks. Those are meant for a certain audience. But, you know, on all those albums, he gave us other great songs. But okay. Parker, he came back again and he said, yo, the people want real art again, Ack. Is that, do you think that's the case? Because if that's the case, it's going to affect more than just Drake. And here's the thing. I think Drake could adjust to whatever the culture wants. I think Drake has never gone against the wave to set the stamp. Drake follows the wave and he just stays on top. Let me give you the example. Drake is popular enough that if he wanted to make lyricism be at the forefront of what people were consuming, he could have. But instead of challenging where music and the wave was going, he followed it and added on to it. Right? I think that, let's say Kendrick changed the wave right now, right? Which, by the way, I was saying is going to affect more other people than Drake, because I think Drake could get on some substance-filled shit. I think he's that talented. That's why, you know, the best guys could do it all, right? Who it affects is the Sexy Reds. Like, if people are now desensitized or now tired of the, oh, my pussy stink, my booty black, I'ma fuck them all. Like, if you're tired of that, Sexy Red's out of here. Like, she's done, right? But along with her being done, it's like a whole archetype and a whole sound of music that's just gonna just die out, right? Now, I can't say that that's all that Drake does. Drake kind of does everything. Drake sings, Drake fucking raps lyrically, then he swag raps, and he yachty raps, and then he kind of does it all. I think it was on the track with Yeet, right? Anyway, check-in report. What up with you? And thank you, brother. He says, yo, the battle is over. And remember when Nas won the battle, but with Hove, but not the war portion? Will Kendrick disappear again? Well, so that's the whole thing that's happening. I've heard, and again, I can't say these are verified sources because I don't even want to cap to say I know actual legit sources. Like, usually with Drake, I could tell you, like, if it's a real source or not. Or I can tell you if it's from him. With Kendrick, I don't have an actual legit source of Kendrick. It's people who I know are kind of around, but sometimes you got to be kind of careful with Kendrick and his team, because I think sometimes they throw shit out, and I've learned this in the battle. They'll kind of let things go out that they capitalize off the narrative. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like 100% during that battle, I think Kendrick and his team realized that the venue of where people were getting their first reaction and where people were also judging and viewing this battle was through my stream. And they specifically, I have a lot of proof to say they specifically tried to use me against Drake, in a sense. You get what I mean? Be like, all right, you know, like, for example, I heard they spend, I think I told you, they spend up to 6 figures, like, just marketing, taking the reaction of me reacting to, like, not Euphoria, but it was 616 or Meet the Grams. They took, remember, Drake had dropped something and then they dropped immediately. The reaction I had, they spent mad marketing dollars getting it out to every blog, which is kind of smart, right? It's like, all right, cool. Let's play Drake's biggest fan against Drake, right? Which, you know, actually, I can't even, that's fucking clever. I can't even lie to you. Anyway, he said, will Kendrick disappear? Okay, so I said that to say this. I've heard, and I guess I was adding a lot of grain, or like, take this with a grain of salt. I was adding a lot of salt grains to it. So I don't know if this is actually a thing. Because Kendrick's streams has gone all the way up, and he's done so much, I heard that his album is pushed back slightly. I heard his album would have been here in the next, like, 2-3 weeks. That's what I'm hearing. I heard that Kendrick would have been dropped his album. If this battle did not happen, his album would have came. However, everything has changed. Number one, a lot of people are giving him so much positive press and reinforcement after this battle. Number two, the streams from the 3 diss songs that he has up, right? Think about this. The streams from only the 3 diss songs he has up on Drake that are on DSPs, they have done so much streams is equivalent to 2 albums. Not Kendrick albums, but 2 regular albums from a lit artist. So essentially, if we're thinking about artists who work for a company, even though he works for himself, allegedly with PG Lang, but they have distribution deals and whatever the case is, if you have to check the box of maybe, you wanted to get, I don't know, let's say 500 million streams, right? Like that was the goal. Like you needed to drop your album and get 500 million or 1 billion streams. Well, those 3 diss songs got those streams that your album was supposed to get. So now what that does, if you're a businessman, it makes you now play the game different. Because you've satisfied the quota in what you needed to provide in streams and sales, obviously you do want to take advantage of the moment because you're lit right now, so he is going to drop. But you don't necessarily have to rush out your product because you're dominating streams with 3 songs. So from what I heard he's like, he's refining the album, he's polishing, but he's letting the songs that are doing, like Not Like Us is going crazy. Let those do the numbers, which by the way, they're doing 3 songs are doing so much numbers, it would be equivalent to 2 regular artist albums. And when I see regular artists, I would say like 100,000 or so. So that's why I've heard that his project, isn't coming immediately, but it is coming. So to answer the check-in report, he's not going to disappear, supposedly. He's playing it as a businessman, and then he's going to drop his album. So his album is going to come, so he supposedly won't disappear. I guess I said a lot to say that, right? Yeah, and he's like, would he flop the opportunity to even be the top guy? I do think time is still of the essence. While he could wait a little bit, he has to drop definitely within the next 6 months, right? Okay. Johnny, he says, I'm surprised that the executive is allowing the algorithms to go against Drake. My theory is that Drake is beefing with the bosses behind the scenes. Well, I feel like we'll be going into like cynicism a little bit when we start talking about this. I do believe that, the deal that Drake has is not incentivized to make sure they're going to recoup, but it's not incentivized to make sure he has this unprecedented leverage that he's going to continue to squeeze Universal for more and more money for less and less of the product to come, which means they need to, and by the way, if we're thinking about the contract which Drake has confirmed to us is $400 million, and is Drake in a 360? We don't know. I mean, Drake Lemon Pepper Freestyle, I did think it was kind of ominous a little bit. By the way, Drake has been on tour like the most out of any rapper, which is a little bit odd. But he did also rap on Lemon Pepper Freestyle when he says, yo, and this before people knew his deal was a 400, but maybe this is like a double entendre or a triple entendre, I guess, at this point. Says, yeah, hard just turned purple, 360 up front, it all comes full circle. Now, 360 obviously is a 360 deal.
Hey, yo,
you
man.
instantly think about it.
Somebody help me, man. Stop feeding into what these pussy-ass bitches be doing. I'm talking about dudes, too. Can somebody help me? Please let me stop having this mindset of caring about what
these
other
releases
people
that he
think.
just dropped,
Body language, right? And
they're not. Number one, it's going to generate a lot of revenue, but they're still not counting as albums.
Oh, I hate people
if he tours,
who
they get benefit from
it.
My God! As long as his career, which I think that could be something they can mitigate. As long as his career is just
that shit,
especially
around my motherfucking food.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man.
Your sorry bitch on about
the whole thing that he's been beefing with the bosses behind the scenes. I've just heard that Universal just don't have that much control. And here's the thing: if I'm a company, just think about it, right?
I just can't
Drake
put
might make you a lot of money.
They ain't real men. They homos.
Usually, the companies
somebody stop this
like it when they have the most amount of control and make the most amount from that artist's catalog. Which, even if they become bigger later on,
away.
They own the shit that matters the most, which is the early part of the catalog, which will always age well because usually people appreciate those records with time. For example, if we're thinking about Kanye West, his first 3 albums, College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, they're owned by Def Jam. He tried to buy it back. They wasn't really trying to give him that shit back. Right? The thing with NBA Youngboy was allowed to leave Atlantic and go to Capitol, and essentially they're looking at it like, well, your classic albums, whether it's AI Youngboy or it's Inside 38 Baby or Top or whatever you want to call your classic albums, Youngboy, they're on our motherfucking label.
Ooh,
so yeah, you can go over there, they'll overpay you, and you'll have more leverage there. But the thing with streaming is that when you start streaming, like for example, right now, right? Good Kid, Mad City. Good, like, did y'all see my tweet? I don't know if y'all follow me on Twitter.
I don't even see the price on here.
Good Kid, Mad City. Check this out. Like, if you think the labels aren't having a good time with this, look.
Got my
Kendrick Lamar, Damn.
You heard me?
Sold 25K. Guaranteed Damn is owned by TDE.
What they call
and Universal.
Okay.
Whether, I don't know what the pub or the rights
right here,
bro. Be with it. But yeah, or maybe TDE owns it. Nah, well,
I want white rice.
Yeah. Regardless, Republic
is
eating off of this. Right? Republic is eating off of this. So you're telling me that this guy gets into a beat and his album from 12 years ago sells the best? Like, this shit outsold A Boogie, or damn near outsold A Boogie.
I wish this shit was pre-recorded.
Right? And A Boogie just dropped. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Well, actually, no, this is from 2017. This is from 2017.
I wouldn't give up this lifestyle for nothing,
so both of these combined did 47,000.
I gotta take this shit tomorrow.
You had to do 0 promo. A Boogie had videos, pay producers, pay features, whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Marketing campaign, and he sold 27K first. So you see why, like, you know, in the streaming game, you know, I've always, I try to explain to y'all, like, for a label, it's better. It's better when these artists die. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, they have to have a good catalog before they die. But, like, for example,
why this motherfucker will not.
Let's say Juice WRLD, right? Like, I'm not saying that his label wanted him to die. Like, don't get me wrong and don't take me out of context. But the more Juice WRLD's career went, yeah, they would have got more money with him. But he would have gotten more leverage, right? Would have started promoting and caring about his future projects. And the label would have had less of the leverage, less of the ownership in the newer projects. Once they're dead, these projects are forever owned by the label. Like Pop Smoke's records, like they're not like giving it back to the mom. Like, oh here, just take your son's discography back. Hell no.
There we go.
Forever and for always, if you want to listen to Pop Smoke's records, it's owned by the label. You get what I'm saying? Now X is a little bit different because X was indie already. That's a little bit different, right? But other than that, you got to understand that these labels are always going to win with the streaming game, and this is why they actually signed all these deals for streaming, because fans go back and listen to catalog. It's all about catalog. The number one reason why Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group exist and they pressure every company, whether it's TikTok, they've done to Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, anybody on licensing deals, they swing one big dick. No Diddy. It's their catalog. They have a huge catalog, no Diddy. And they basically say, we have this catalog, you want access to it. Right? So, like, whenever they gave Drake the $400 million, Drake, take that $400 million because we need to make sure you're going to keep producing music. And by the way, most of this stuff relies on catalog anyway. Remember when Kanye was trying to retire and the publishing company was about to sue him? And essentially, they had signed a $10 million publishing deal with Kanye. They gave him money. And part of the deal is that he couldn't retire. Why? Every time he dropped a new project, people were always going to go back and go stream Late Registration and College Dropout, which was going to get the pub company paid off of Kanye. You get what I'm saying? So again, that's how streaming works. It's hard to say these niggas like, it's hard to say that the label loves these niggas so much. They're not thinking afterwards, right? Like, it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, Drake, you're the biggest. We own most of your music. As you go into this new era where we're owning little smaller and smaller, like, for example, the margins on what they're making on Drake now are nowhere close to what, like, again, these are for the business people who are, just tap in with me real quick. Drake was probably in a royalty. First of all, Drake was signed to, what's it called? Aspire Music Group, which was owned by Lil Wayne's former manager, right? And then through that, he was signed to Young Money, which is under Cash Money, which was under Universal, right? It's 100% like plausible, and probably you could assume he was in a royalty rate deal when he first got in the game, right? He's getting 18% on every dollar after recouping, and he had a big budget, right? 18%. So he's getting 18 cents for every dollar made after recoupment, which probably means after the first 5 million. So whatever advance he had gotten, probably after the first 5 million, because it probably took 5 million dollars to make that first like LP, he's getting 18 cents, right? That's forever. Like, that ain't only for them. That's forever. You get what I'm saying? So forever and always, if Take Care jumps back on the motherfucking charts, and let's say it grosses $1 million, right? Drake gets $180,000, and the label gets over 800,000, right? That's not the splits on his current projects today. The current splits are probably going to be closer to a 50-50, or could possibly be a 60-40 in Drake's favor. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense, right? So, of course, there's money to be made with him, but the splits ain't in the label's favor no more. So, what would you care about? The shit you get 90% on, or the shit you're getting like 40% on, or damn near like you're a distro company with like certain resources for me? Maybe you get 30 after. Yeah, so
people
exactly.
Riding around here undercover staring at me, the trap guy.
Okay, yeah, wow. You guys are smart, man. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes I be talking, I'm like, yo, I feel like to people in the music industry, they'll get it, but sometimes I'm like, am I just yapping to y'all? And I'm like, that just don't make sense.
None of your white Anglo-Saxon
that's just reality.
I got my own shit.
Drake's, the leverage Drake has right now, because Drake could, obviously wouldn't sell what he sells, but he could just say, I'm going independent. Okay. So you could imagine, they're probably going to be like, yo, listen, we'll give you $400 million up front. All we want, right? We want this part of your touring until we recoup. We want this percentage of your touring until we recoup. I guarantee you'll tour this amount. Then we want 35 or 40% of your contract. Maybe let's say 30% of your music shit.
Yeah.
Until we recoup, and then maybe goes down, or maybe maybe it's like 40%, then it goes down to 30. Once we recoup, we'll give you the $400 million, and yeah, you go with the 400, but you got to tour, you got to drop these projects. Of course, for you, you're gonna care about the $400 million because 400 million liquid means a lot, right? Liquid means a lot. Drake could earn that money by himself, but liquid means a lot. If somebody give you $400 million, like, you'd be an idiot to think about, well, they're making 600. They'd be like, yo, my nigga, give me the 400 today, and you make, it's like the bank. Like, the bank will give you a mortgage of $1 million, but the bank is looking at it like, we're gonna make overall 1.5. But we're making that over 30 years. But they gave you the million. Okay, I know you.
Oh yeah, I've got to get my tits done too. I want
tits
on the side.
Over-explaining. Okay. Yeah. I was reading donations. Thank you guys. Somebody says, imagine if KOD drops in October. Does Drake own October? Nah. Somebody said, Drake fans live in a bubble. Indy Raheem, thank you for that, by the way. He says, Drake fans lives in a bubble where their whole identity is tied to him. And y'all excuse sus behavior. Wearing blackface. By the way,
I can't go.
Why do I feel like I'm this PR, like I'm defending everything? The blackface thing there was a reason for the blackface thing, right? Like, he said he was, maybe we'll get into it because there's still people asking about the blackface thing. Like, your Drake is black, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, honestly, and tell me if culturally I'm looking at this wrong. I'm black, okay? Yeah, I'm from Jamaica, but I'm black. If I say the hard ER, I'm sorry, I'm black. I could do that. I'm sorry. If I put blackface on, nigga, I'm sorry. I could do that. I'm sorry. Like, if it was a white person, if Drake mama did it, we gonna crucify her. Again, I'm not saying it's not a little clownish or whatever on face value, but niggas is acting like this like some big ass indictment or whatever. It might have been there was a reason he did that, man. Like, chill out. Like, why you act like Drake's a white guy? He says touching 17-year-old girls. Oh my god. He was in slavery as a diss. That's where I could identify Kendrick fan. Anytime Kendrick fan brings up Drake saying, yo, you rapping like you about to free the slaves. Like, yo,
all y'all people
this is when you know you're dealing with a Kendrick. Bro, have you never been arguing with somebody else who's black and you say some shit or like you joke on some shit like nigga, you must think you Martin Luther King or something like that. Like you know those type of things like yo, you kind of diss it, but it's not like you diss Martin Luther King. Like Martin Luther King is a great motherfucking man. Did a lot of things, but it's like you're just making a reference. Like yo, nigga, you must think you must think I don't know. You must think you Marcus Garvey, like whatever. Like I don't think it's that big of a deal. But a Kendrick fan will be like, how dare he talk about you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves? Like, come on, bro. It's not even that serious.
Anything. I mean, anything.
Now everybody's saying, nah, act.
What? Fucking underlining.
Really? It's that big of a deal now? Yo, man, y'all different, bro. Y'all are different, bro. General Surgency, thank you for the 50, yo. Salute to my boy General Surgency for the big 50. He says, when you're the best, people only want you to be for a little bit. Then they want to see somebody else win. Drake has been on top. That's why he gets this much hate. LeBron and Floyd too. I made that point. That's why I said he was always an underdog. Continue. He says, and black people always talk about people are racist, but they be the most racist, especially the mixed black people.
In the hip hop industry.
Yeah, I think people. I think it's been going on too long. Niggas want to see. I don't even think niggas don't want to see Drake on top. No Diddy. I think people want to see him humbled again. You know, I always said that what comes with winning and the attitude to win is arrogance. Like we've never seen a nigga number one that don't show some type of arrogance or self-confidence that could be misconstrued as arrogance. From Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant, if someone was ever truly number one and dominated, we always associated that confidence, that you know, we always either confuse it or reassociate it with arrogance. And what happens is, I think it's a natural cycle of life. When that happens and that arrogance persists for too long, people want to see that person on bended knees. They want to see that person at their weakest moment. They want to make sure that person could bleed. You're not Superman, nigga. We want to see you bleed. And sometimes that comes in the form of seeing that person break down and cry and just having that moment of, yo, I'm sorry, I fucked up, begging for forgiveness. Or just saying, listen, I'm defeated, y'all got me. And usually if you've watched, there's been so many instances when that has happened, we've seen the audience pick back up the person they claimed was too arrogant, but it's only after they see that person is broken. They see that person is finally on bended knees. And I think what happens with someone like a, you know, like a Drake, I don't think he's gonna give that moment. He's not gonna give that moment to be like, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I guarantee, Drake will get so much love right now if he say, yo, bro, yo, I'm sorry, man. I did so many shit wrong. I've been fucking up. I feel like a loser, man. I've been having thoughts of doing shit to myself. Like, I just feel like shit, man. Like, y'all, everything y'all said about me is right. I'm just a piece of shit, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just go away, man. I'm done. I guarantee everybody in music will be like, no, we love you, nigga. I'm playing. We love you. I guarantee people just want to see the nigga, like, just be, like, on one knee, just begging for forgiveness. That's it.
You're like a snitch that, okay,
if he ever was just like, yo, bro, you got it, man. Yo, listen, man. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I need to do some self-reflection. You know, this whole time I was trying to be one of the greats in rap. I didn't realize I lost myself.
A black
yeah, right,
truck
man. I'm a
with
total
tinted
fraud,
windows
man.
that you can't
Like,
see
you know,
through.
I lied
They'll
about a
kill
whole
you
bunch of
like
stuff.
that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I've always never been really in tune with black culture. Like, my mama really white.
I
Man,
didn't
I'm
know you could
sorry, man.
have
Like,
that.
I don't
I
even know
thought
what
that
to
was
do. Like, you know
illegal.
what? The best thing for me to do, I'm gonna just go away. I'm gonna just go away. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, y'all right. Everything y'all said about me is true. Like, I don't deserve none of this. Like,
You don't. You are straight garbage,
I'll just wake up
man.
some
You're a
some
waste
mornings
of
and I just
time
wish
for
I
our
wasn't here.
community.
If Drake comes out and says that, I promise you, everybody
Well,
named my boys.
actually, both of y'all
They're
are.
waiting for that. Somebody said they clown Drake for that. Hell,
It's
nah,
like
nope, nope, nope,
somebody
nope.
who's rapping,
Because I'm
right?
gonna be honest with y'all, and again, we're not talking about the Kendrick fans, right? Because obviously
You
Kendrick
don't
fans,
like
Drake fans,
their
like people want their
songs at
favorite group.
first, and then they
The
get a
people,
grow on you
I
because
keep telling you, there's
you
more
have
people
no
in the
other
middle.
choice.
And keep in mind, I know you're gonna be like, no, there's not more people in the middle because Kendrick fans and Drake fans, those are the majority. No, the Drake fans who care, those are the only ones we're talking about. Like, I'm a Drake fan who care.
What
Bro,
the
there's a
fuck?
girl in Montana who goes to Drake concert with their 40-year-old dad and their 80-year-old grandma who don't even know he was in a beef. Like, they don't know nothing about this, right? Those ain't the fans we're talking about. We're not talking about those fans, right? So what I'm trying to tell y'all, it's more people that don't have a horse in the race than do.
Right.
The people who care a lot on Kendrick's side and on Drake's side are the ones who really care about this shit. The rest of these people, they don't.
I don't know how this wire got burnt out.
The people who are in the middle, I would say this. I don't even. They want to see Drake lose, but they don't really hate Drake. They're just tired of the nigga winning. They tired.
Oh,
God. They're like, oh, yo, we're tired that you're like, even this post right here. Yo, I'm just tired of this nigga painting his nails, acting like he could talk tough and do and pucker his lips while he's taking a picture. Like, tired of that type of shit. So I don't think the majority of people hate Drake. That's what's get humble. That's why I think he seems like he's fell on the sword and say y'all got it. They'd be like, nah, bro, we still fuck with you.
And
we just had to see
like,
you humble one time.
That's all.
We just had to see you get knocked the fuck out because you was running around here thinking you Tupac. That's it, bro. We don't hate you. I don't think they hate Drake.
That's their background in life.
By the way, what y'all think about this?
A light skinned, white looking.
My man Gordo, aka DJ Carnage, he says, yo, you guys ready for summer 2024?
I don't know.
And obviously, if you don't remember that infamous link up, last time Drake was like, yo, Gordo got me on the way.
Like hey,
I'm
mixed kid,
that was,
a mulatto.
First one, that was the song Sticky, but it was on Honestly Never Mind. That was the Euro-centric type song where Drake was, a lot of damn near house music, like a house music album, right? I'm wondering if he's teasing that again. But you see Drake here,
about black.
And Drake, he's throwing up the middle finger.
All they have.
Throwing up the middle finger with the painted nails.
Niggas don't want them.
Crazy, yo.
And white
crazy.
People don't want them.
I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Drake got like, is this a teardrop? Yo,
like yo,
Drizzy is something else, man. Drizzy got a teardrop, braids, got a spider on his hand, and fucking painted nails. That's my goat. That's my goat. That's my goat. I don't know what to say, y'all. That's my goat. Hey, there's nothing like throwing up a middle finger, especially when you just got a fresh set. Like, ask some of these bad bitches out here. That's a fact. And by the way, my boy don't do no acrylics neither. I don't think he be using the gel nail shit. I think that's his real nails. Somebody says, oh, they did the same thing to Eminem? Okay. All right, let me see. We do got a lot of donations. Somebody says, every great Drake could do, everything great Drake could do in his career. This was Dante Whitten said. He's already done. Every from point, what?
Might be sweet.
Everything from now, from this point, is extra or a copy. People don't feel the need to keep Drake over Dot. Okay. All right.
I am that
my boy.
Nigga from the rap streets.
Sarah Person says, being black is a spectrum. Black people who grew up with black parents understand you can't say certain things if you're really light-skinned or biracial.
That's what I just said.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I be feeling like the lightest. mixed race people be coming across like the most pro-black to me.
Only because
think about anybody who like mixed race, they be dumb pro-black. You be looking at them like, nigga, ain't no way you hate white people like this. Ain't your mama white? Like, nigga,
you gotta overcompensate.
I remember seeing J. Cole at some of these marches. I'm like, ain't no way.
Right.
Now, granted, it was mostly police brutality joints, but it's like, I know a lot more light-skinned motherfuckers would be like, look at that nigga Sean King. That nigga, supposedly he like mixed.
I told you, this boy just be saying anything. He is the top person. I said, man, you
the face of Black Lives Matter was this nigga.
You say anything.
Like, think about it, Chad. The face of this nigga, the face of Black Lives Matter was him for a minute. I'm serious. And I think this is him with a tan.
Who is this?
Like, real talk. This is how you chat, let me show you something. This is how you knew that this nigga, like, this was on some bullshit. The first picture that pops up of Sean King is in black and white, nigga. It's like the nigga not really trying to show you the whiteness, nigga. He's just trying to, like, he's trying to black and white, like, yo, this is the face of Black Lives Matter. No disrespect to him, but it's the face of it. Only thing black about this nigga is the goddamn fade. That nigga probably say, yo, give me a Boosie fade, nigga, let's keep this shit moving. And this it's the face of it, bruh. And I know y'all remember Rachel Dolezal. Bruh, how did this woman infiltrate, and you know how many people were following her, nigga?
Same way.
Then we heard that she said she was transracial, gang. Nigga, she was white as hell and just did some box braids, nigga. And they were like, yo, that's
the black girls let the white girl get out there and be the face.
This was the leader, nigga.
The light skin.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. Look.
We already know, bitch.
Bruv.
You just.
This was an NAACP leader.
On us. That's all you do.
Yo, chat.
It's not our fault.
Yo, y'all ain't see this?
These pussies out here.
Yo, chat. When it comes to like the voices that lead, it will never be no nigga like Dr. Umar. Niggas like him because he entertaining. Like, by the way, I ain't saying he shouldn't be a leader. I'm just saying y'all niggas love gravitating to the white faces anyway. So stop the cap.
Leave that alone.
So Sarah, I get what you're saying, but
you try this.
It's hard for me to agree with what you're saying that, oh, it's kind of known in the black community that lighter skinned people should avoid saying certain shit. When it came to leading all these movements, y'all went to this motherfucker. Anyway. Okay. Candlejack says, yo, Kendrick fans read into his lyrics like it's Da Vinci Code, but have a mental block with the context of Drake's lines. Maximum disingenuous behavior. I agree. Second report says, I've seen Kendrick throw on some high heels, let a white girl sing about being a slave on his album, get accused of domestic violence, never address it, and his fans don't bat an eye. Who's really glazing? Kendrick had high heels? No, he didn't. Kendrick Lamar, high heels? No way.
He's stealing everybody's shit. He just literally sitting there with the internet, just sitting there like, man, it's so easy what he doing. That's crazy. I don't believe, bro. I mean, I just can't believe this nigga. I'm not even hating him. I just can't believe it.
That's not heels. That's like platform shoes. And honestly, this is short nigga tactics. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all short niggas act like they like being short. No, they don't. You know what I mean? It's like all fat niggas act like they like being fat. No, we don't. So, yeah, no, this is a little tactic, yeah, that they put on. It's like, this is why shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish I was 6 foot. This is why I was starting to, I used to cop the, what's the name of that shoes? There's these, like, designer sneakers that got, like, about this much, like, you know, sole or whatever. It makes you, like, 3-4 inches taller. Nigga, I was rocking them business for a while. That shit was heavy as hell. But you look taller wearing them. Them shit look like moon boots. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's just short nigga tactics. I ain't gonna say that's selling out. Yeah, Kendrick's like 5'2". Nigga wanted to be a little taller. And also, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, To keep it real,
you can say anything.
To keep it real, like
I can hear that he ain't nothing but a fucking
this is kind of like a little
hater.
pro-black fit right here, man. This how these pro-black niggas be giving it up, bro.
Is speaking out of both sides of his mouth.
Nah, I'm not gonna get on Kendrick for that.
Undertones, dissing people quietly, but out loud.
Just because he's short. The nigga's short, man.
Just saying he used both sides of the motherfucking conversation.
But I'm not gonna say he's rocking high heels trying to be a woman or some shit like that. Nah. Like I could explain, and I know, Drake fans be hitting me too. They be like, yo, act. You're supposed to be on our side. You're not supposed to get that nigga credit, bro. I gotta still be on bias. Like Drake wearing nail polish and Kendrick wearing shoes that are like either like church shoes or like shoes with a little platform. Okay, both might indicate like a problem with one's self, the sense of self. Kendrick just thinks he's short, and that's a fact. Drake with the fucking nail polish, I don't know what Drake is thinking. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I've just never went in the nail shop and said, yo, color me up pink only and put some flowers. I've never done that. So I like it's I can't even I can't say nothing on it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Who is this?
Coleman Hollis says what Drake fans don't grasp black culture. What Drake fans don't grasp black culture. If they did, they could grasp how a mixed dude from Canada, raised Jewish, had no chance against Kendrick. Well, we didn't think this was gonna be a culture war. We thought this was gonna be a rap battle. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Did y'all all think that this was gonna get to the point that it got to when it came to like rapping? Like, these guys are basically just like accusing each other of cancelable things. Like, I thought it was gonna be, yo, I'm better than you at rapping, maybe expose like, nigga, I put you on. Yo, remember when you begged me to help write for yours? I thought that's what the battle was gonna be over. Like, I thought it was gonna be more rapping. I didn't know it was gonna be like dissecting these guys like way of life, their marriage, their relationship with their kids. Like, this shit turned into some ultra personal shit. You know what I mean? By the way, I seen somebody say some shit today. I think it was T.I. T.I. says Drake and Kendrick should go on tour. And I was like, that nigga's wildin'. Fuck out of here. Nigga, if this happened, I think Drake would shoot Kendrick his damn self, nigga. Hell no.
I think they both phenomenal hit makers.
Oh, okay. And, all right, hold on. I do gotta get some more liquor chat. Let me just bring the bottle down. Watch this.
I will say this. It is probably one of the more exacerbated beefs I've seen.
T.I. go with the dictionary.
Yeah,
make sure y'all look that up.
All this stuff can't be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything everybody's saying can't be true. Like, good God, you know. I got respect for both of them, man, and I think they both are phenomenal hit makers. And I'm just waiting on the tour, you know, now, because that's the only thing, you know.
Left to happen.
Listen, after the disagreement, the only thing that's gonna sell is the reunion.
Listen, what about J. Cole added in there?
J. Cole, I think he opted out.
No, I'm saying, would you want to see him on the tour? Like,
I don't think I want to see it. I think he.
You don't want to see himself on the
tour? He chose peace and serenity. Hey, man, that is very mature.
I love it. I was about to say,
very mature.
There's nothing that nobody could do.
That's a lot of I
hate J. Cole.
That's a lot of I don't give a fuck in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. That shit don't matter.
Like, I ain't about to do that.
Like, at the end of the day, you know, what can I really receive from this? Yeah, man, that was very, very, Gandhi of him.
Not Gandhi.
It's funny y'all brought up like some legendary moments. I see you going back on. You got a show with Luda coming up, and I remember back in the days. I totally forgot about this from back in the days that Buck had you and him on that song, and you didn't even know what was going. I never asked you about this. What was going on in your mind or your head when you said that he dropped that record? Were you like kind of pissed off at Buck from that?
Nah, man, I don't have no emotions and shit, bro. You know, I be so consumed.
I'm talking about the young T.I., not the.
I be so consumed with myself, man. You know, at the time I had so, man, it was so much me going on. I ain't really had no room to be looking and worried and concerned with nobody else shit, man. And
that's the first time ever that somebody did anything like that. They put like two guys that got problems with each other, and they put it on a record without telling you.
Hey, man.
Isn't that crazy?
It's great for the game.
love the regular responses like, yo,
I got a secret tip on that video though. Like, you know, a lot of people don't know. I am the guy in the monkey suit in the snippet video.
What monkey suit?
In the stomp video. In the stomp video, like it's a snippet. I'm the one in the ape suit, but a lot of people don't know.
When you gonna take it off?
yo, no,
Yeah, friends, man.
nah, Tip don't have no friends with Mike somewhere.
Speaking of which, will we ever get another Gangsta Girls?
Man, you know what? We're working on the PSC Gangsta Girls right now. Yeah.
Country Kane?
Country Kane, Young Dro, Matt Boney, myself, DJ Drummer. We working on one right now.
Okay.
He chose to serenity. Hey man, that is very mature.
I love it. I was about to say,
very mature.
there's nothing that nobody can
That's a lot of I
hate J. Cole. I love
that's
it.
a lot of I don't give a fuck in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. That shit don't matter.
Like, I ain't about to do that.
Like at the end of the day, you know, what did I really receive from this? Yeah, man, that was very, very that was very Gandhi of him.
Not got you.
Monster Hunter beat, hope, beat, boat, beat, rap, nigga, feel free. Oh, man, damn, pull up, ever lambs.
Like
Man.
kind of pissed off at Buck from that?
Nah, man, I don't have no emotions and shit, bro. You know, I be so
I'm talking
consumed.
about the young T.I., not the
I mean, I be
T.I.
so
right
consumed with myself, man. You know, at the time I had so, man, it was so much me going on. I ain't really had no room to be looking and worried and concerned with nobody else shit, man. You know what I mean? Going, you know, he was going hard. And the way he delivered it was just so effortless. Like, that was his shit, you know what I mean? So, you know, I fuck with it.
I had to put the fatality at the end of the day.
Nah.
Fatality. Are you happy with where trap music is?
Learn from my mistakes and push forward to
Right. Get him right.
That wasn't serious either. Well, we all know Tip's words like audacity.
Huh?
What?
What are you talking about?
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I don't think that these motherfuckers are gonna go on tour together, and I'm okay if they don't go on tour together. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. And I wonder what y'all think about Drake's moves post, if we're gonna say this beef is over. I don't like the first appearing with Sexy Red on a record. So if I'm scoring Drake post beef moves, I don't like that. I think there was a picture that came out that people, or a video, they were like, oh, Drake and Turks, which was, I think that was false. And he posted another picture. He was just like, to show that he's in his crib. This was right before the shooting, right? But Drake's post beef moves, I don't like the Sexy Red thing, even though honestly, knowing the music business, the battle pretty much ended 2 weeks ago. If we're gonna say it ended there, he didn't just first heard about the request from Sexy Red to be on the album. He probably promised her a long time ago. He probably would look like a bitch ass nigga if he didn't do it. And yeah, this is probably something that just optically I don't think it looks that good, but that's probably him also keeping that relationship, because it's a big look for Sexy Red. Sexy Red needed this for her EP, you know, and I've been telling y'all, these artists ain't trying to put out albums, especially these artists. Like matter of fact, the new conversation being had, and I don't know if y'all want me to talk about it later, is that Ice Spice, she's starting to slip a bit, because the thing with these female rappers who lack the substance of actually fan base building and having music that's qualitative to keep fans entertained beyond the latest bop is that people don't want to hear an album from them. Okay, people want to hear a hot song, and then let's go for 2 months and we'll play that out and let's hear another hot song. But these labels, it's the way how music is monetized and the way how it's always been monetized is not song at a time. It's always use the song to sell the product, right? It's like the song is the sample, right? And we want you to buy the whole product, right? We want to get $10.99 or the equivalent amount of streams rather than you just stream one song. So that's always been the motto of the music business. So these days they're realizing when you throw in artists out there that haven't built a fan base, you kind of kill them when you now have them selling 3,000 records. So you know what they do? They do singles. And when they try to monetize, they'll do an EP with basically a single, because what happens with the EP, nobody's going to be caring or counting the EP in terms of sales. No one's gonna be like, oh, this EP didn't like perform well, so like you're done, right? Like I'm pretty sure, and I'll tell you, I'm looking up right now the projections. I'm pretty sure the EP is not even going to be in it, or it won't be high. But nobody won't care. It's an EP. The album, people will care. I'll show you this view. Matter of fact, let's look at some streams real quick. Let's see how good that Sexy Red. Let's see how good her whole tape has been doing. It's only been 1 day of streaming, right? So we got Friday and Saturday, so 2 days, I guess. In Sexy We Trust. Look, this shows you how much these artists. This shows you how much these artists are single-based artists.
There ain't no big. I don't know.
This, I know it's an intro track. People ain't going to the EP to play from track 1. This has 3,000 plays. To put in perspective, you know which song has the most? Look, I'll even do it right here with y'all.
I've been going fucking
chart data
all my life.
Most, it's a hip.
I don't know what that is.
Hip-hop.
There ain't no that. That ain't chilly. I don't know what that is.
Here we go. I think we'll get it.
Nah, I'd never be able to go back there again if I did something.
No streams. You got no streams.
But I wish I had
I'm looking for like an
access to let everybody know.
Because Kendrick just broke it. Or
That's
almost broke the all-time one.
Come in there. Now Spanish
Not
people,
like,
it done changed. Chile is supposed to have real beans. I remember when it did. What the fuck?
I think it did like 9-point-something
this
million.
Shit? It's not supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be hamburger meat with beans.
What I was trying to show y'all was this. Okay?
Wendy's Chili is beating this.
Oh, actually, not like us did beat it. Okay, it beat Girls Want Girls and Champagne Poetry. Here's the thing. Champagne Poetry is a great song. But Champagne Poetry was the first song on Drake's CLB album. When you're an album artist, people open up your album and hit play on the first song. They want to listen to every song. When you're not an album artist, i.e. Sexy Red, the first record on your I know it's the intro, but you know, just off only 3,000 plays, you know niggas ain't listen to it like that, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not going on Sexy Red's album and playing from 1 till 14. Okay. Wait, is this an EP? Nah, this is an album. An EP is not no 14 fucking tracks. They're probably calling it, PR-wise, they're calling it an EP, but this is an album.
Like your,
you know why they're calling it EP, right? Because when that first week come back and niggas start clowning,
small fries.
You can't have that being done to your artist. But anyway, this is 14 songs. The rules for EP, if you Google it real quick.
For the fries.
Extended play versus LP. You'll see it says EP stands for extended play, and one would usually comprise 4 to 6 tracks. Really, the play time is usually about like 20 to 30 minutes. Long play, which is an album, usually 10 to 12 tracks, or at least like around 50 minutes of music, right? So 50 minutes of music, album, 20 to 30 minutes, EP. Let's see how much runtime this is.
Food that's not
actually, it is an EP. It's 33 minutes, Wow. 14 songs in 33 minutes, which means this averages 2 minutes per song. Okay, so it is an EP. So yeah, it doesn't really go by number of tracks, it goes by runtime. So around 33, that's fine. It'll still be an EP. Oh, okay. Anyway, the point of what I was trying to say is that if you look at this album, or this EP, people are going and picking out what they want. They're not listening to the whole Sexy Red project, right? They're going here and just picking songs, right? With the Drake song, it's done 2 million in 2 days. I think that's pretty good. 2 million in 2 days. This is definitely going to chart, right? This is going to be another charted entry. Get It Sexy's been out for a long while. And if you look at the streams between this and anything else, you can't count Get It Sexy. This is pretty much 10 times any other track. So the stimulus package still exists, right? Yeah, the stimmy still exists. Drake's feature is doing 10 times any other song outside the one that's been out for a while.
Right,
That's a
can I
hit.
get sweet and sour sauce?
And that's still stimmy numbers.
Thank you. Have a
That's still
wonderful day.
stimmy numbers. We got to give it to the boy. All right? What y'all think? All right, man. All right. Anyway, yeah. I only brought that up because Champagne Poetry is number 3 just because the majority of people played track 1. Maybe they didn't get through the whole album, but they played track 1 a lot. The biggest hit off the album ended up being Girls Want Girls, so because that was number 1, that ended up having more streams in it, but, you know, people generally play an album artist records from track 1 all the way down. Okay. That was my point. I don't want y'all to think this is a Drake Glaze stream. Let's take a slight break from talking about Drake, and let's actually go to 2 things. We have Nicki Minaj, who got arrested. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. By the way, thank you guys for tuning in today. I know you guys could be anywhere, and I appreciate you guys for being here with me. Listen, we got almost like 20,000 on YouTube, and we got about 2,000 on Twitch. And how much do we have on Rumble right now? We good. Okay, we got about 6,000 on Rumble, so we're kicking it around, hovering around 30,000 people. Salute to all y'all. Anyway, what I do want to get into real quick, and if you're wondering who my guest is, I don't know if he's gonna be on. I don't know if he's gonna be on. I don't know if he's going to be on. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm still... Wait. Where's my message? Okay, I'm still waiting. Anyway, my guest that's about to come on, and yes, trigger alert, trigger warning, and everything like that. We're talking a little bit about Diddy for a few minutes, so calm down. My guest is about to be, not today, or maybe, he said it was on a flight, so maybe later on in the stream. It's going to be Bradford Cohen. If you guys don't know who that is, it's Kodak's daddy, the guy who Kodak calls daddy, right? He's actually given a really interesting commentary on the case, and obviously I do my, I know a lot of y'all respect me trying my best, also thinking outside the box, and also trying to use and trying to even further my own legal knowledge to try to give context to what's going on, what's probably going to happen, this and third. But this is an actual lawyer, and nothing could beat an actual lawyer. By the way, really well decorated lawyer. He's gotten Kodak and so many other artists out of so many situations, and he's been giving his commentary about this Cassie situation. He said something that was so profound that nobody thought about, including myself. I actually am now all in full belief. I'm going to show you what he said, but it's important for me to just kind of, I know some of y'all hate the recap, but we got to make sure everybody's caught up to speed, right? So, of course, like last week, I can't remember if it's last week or the week before, randomly we see a video get leaked, right? And the video that got leaked was a video that depicted abuse by Sean P. Diddy, aka Brother Love Combs. And you see it here. He's running down the hallway. He's running to Cassie, of course. This is Cassie trying to leave. I'm gonna stop before we see the violence, but he basically hits her in the back of the head. She kind of collapses. He hits her again. She's just sitting there, laying there lifeless, and he kicks her a couple of times. Then it kind of switches to him sitting on a bench, and he's just throwing shit at her. Very upset. He also starts yanking her and pulling her towards the room, and also grab the bags that she was, had in her hand. It appears that she was trying to leave. We don't know what happened before, but it appears that she was trying to leave because she was, putting on her shoes at the elevator. So she was clearly trying to be discreet and trying to get away. What happened before, what happened in the room, allegedly what she says in the lawsuit is that it's a freak off. Now, I listened to a bunch of people, including Reggie Wright. I'm gonna shout out to Reggie Wright because I think he's a former police officer, or maybe his father's a police officer. But he's been pretty spot on with a lot of things, and he has really good analysis of a lot of these things, especially in the eyes of how the law sees it. Now, we've been talking about how the hell this got out, and Reggie White pointed out something that was really interesting to me, right? Because I came out and I said, I think the feds leaked this, but the feds, because of how they leaked it to CNN, I think the feds, they're leaking this to justify the raid. They're also leaking this, some people have said they're leaking this to get more victims to come forward. Some people feel like they want to cripple Diddy financially. If you leak this video, all of his business partners are running for the hills. He can't get money. And in historic fights we've seen with the feds and people that have been involved in hip hop, where it's a environment where people could get a lot of money. They don't want to be fighting a guy with infinite resources. They want a guy who basically doesn't have too much resources or can't really challenge them on everything they're going to bring, right? By the way, we've seen this before when it came to the feds. Murder Inc., feds. Basically, Murder Inc. got raided, and I forgot what was the bigger company above Murder Inc. Basically, according to Irv Gotti, who spoke about this a lot, they said because Murder Inc. was supporting these gangsters who were doing some shit, they really wanted the gangster niggas. They had to get the money support away from the dudes they're trying to convict. Murder Inc. was a record label that had access to a lot of money. So they raided the office of Murder Inc. and the label to make it so radioactive, because once the feds went up in there and said to, I don't know if it's UMG or whatever label it was, saying, yo, we want to see all financials. We want to see if maybe we need to bring y'all in court. They said, fuck Murder Inc. We don't want no parts with them, which means now they can't really make money. It goes into a situation that, that Murder Inc. had to fight their own legal battle. Also, they had money frozen this and third. They couldn't facilitate and fund the legal defense of these gangsters, right? That was like a plot by the feds to kind of isolate the money from who they're going at. Now, some people believe, well, that might be what they're doing with leaking the video. Nobody wants to be in business with Diddy. Seeing this video, now Diddy can't make no money. He has to rely on his bank account and whatever resources he has for current. The interesting other take that, and salute to Bradford Cohen again, I'm going to get him on, if not today, probably tomorrow. The interesting other take that he had that I actually believe is that if we look at the timeline, so this comes out, and what happens next? We see Diddy, who apologized, right? Diddy apologized. Then what happened? Of course, other people jump in and chime in. Everybody saying Diddy's a piece of shit. Then we get Cassie's lawyer, who actually jumps in by says, "Yo, he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false. His pathetic desperation, no one will be swayed by his disingenuous words." Now, I've said to y'all, doesn't this kind of seem a little odd that Diddy allegedly pays this woman $30 million or $50 million, and her lawyer is so mouthy with this whole thing going on with Diddy? Yo, you got paid already. Why the fuck do you keep... And I know some people might be like, no, maybe they just want justice. Cool. But you got paid. And you signed these NDAs where supposedly you can't even talk about it. Why are you in a slick way through your lawyer speaking out against Diddy? Okay, let's keep following the train of thought here. So that happens. Then Cassie, who has not said anything outside of speaking through her lawyers, Cassie has then put out a statement. Her statement says, "Thank you for all the love and support from my family and friends, strangers who have yet to meet. The outpouring of love has created this place for my younger self to settle and feel safe now, but this is only the beginning. Domestic violence is the issue. It broke me down. It broke me down to someone I never thought I would become." That is a very interesting line. And by the way, I also have to give the same disclaimer that my man Bradford Cohen had to give many times on his Instagram post. I don't know if maybe some of y'all seen it before. Because we're not defending domestic violence or none of that, but we're only looking at this from a legal perspective because we're trying to analyze. That's it. We're not saying this is. We're realizing that what's at play here is like this shit is bigger than Nino Brown, bro. There's a lot of shit going on. So we do have to look at even some of the word in here, and then we're gonna. I'll tell you what I agree with the conclusion here. It said it broke me down to someone I thought I never thought I would become. With a lot of hard work, I'm better today, but I'll always be recovering from my past. That's also a very poignant statement. We'll get back to it. Thank you for everyone that's taken the time to take this matter seriously. My only ask is that everyone open your heart to believe in victims the first time. It takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation that you were powerless in. Let's use that line again too. These are lines. I wish I had a highlighter. I would highlight some of these lines. By the way, I don't believe for a second Cassie wrote this herself, which she shouldn't write this herself. She had help with a lawyer to cook, but some of these lines are very important. Here we go. Takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation we're powerless in. I offer my hand to those that are still living in fear. Reach out to your people. Don't cut them off. No one should carry this weight alone. This healing journey has never ended, but the support means everything to me. Thank you. Love always. Now, what am I getting at here, people? What am I getting at? And I read this, and I want to give him the credit, but I read this on Bradford Cohen's page. He reacted to Cassie's, like apology, and he said this. He says, so just so we're all clear, this is what I was saying the statement would be. She was powerless in her situation. She became someone. Remember, she said, I never thought I would become. Now, we're going to assume it means complicit or allowing someone to beat you, but this is a lawyer who's saying, think about everything going on and hear this spin on it, which I thought this was, I actually believe this is true. It says, this is why the tape was leaked. She essentially, in my opinion, is a co-conspirator. Now, let's stop right there. Remember, in any situation, when you're talking about these guys of tremendous amount of money and wealth and power, and they are using that to corrupt and influence people to do sexual things or whatever the case is. Again, let me not speak in these big words or whatever. Let me not choose my words too wisely. Let me just say this. Bruh, the shit that we hear Diddy was doing, you need a bottom bitch to get done. Let's keep it a bean, right? Let's keep it a bean. Diddy ain't just doing it like, Diddy ain't just telling all these bitches to do all this shit without some woman almost making it seem like, oh, yeah, I do it too. Just like how it was said in the Little Rod lawsuit. Yo, of course you should fuck men. Like, Meek and them other niggas do it. Like, you kind of need the bottom bitch. You need the Ghislaine Maxwell. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not accusing Cassie of this, but I'm saying that that's what Ghislaine Maxwell was for Epstein. Yo, young girls came around Epstein and like, this is kind of weird. This old man wants me to give him a massage. He wants me to be fully naked. He wants me to oil up around his private parts. You know what Ghislaine Maxwell would say? Nah, hold on. Like, no, we all do it. Come here. No, come here. No, let's both get naked. We could both get naked. No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Women seem to always be more comfortable when they see another woman doing it. Right? Now, see, I see some people be like, yo, well, listen, we're not accusing Cassie of anything. And again, I'm using this statement because this is only from a legal perspective. We're trying to make sense of something that don't make sense. Why is this video out? Right? Why is this video out? Please, just calm down. I am not saying Cassie is a bad person. Please just understand this perspective. And I have to say it a million times before y'all say that I'm defending somebody. Please, just understand the perspective I'm trying to give. Right? And understand how this could make sense. All right. By the way, this guy says it verbatim. He says, he believes this is why it was leaked. He says she's a co-conspirator. Now, here's the thing. Keep in mind, in the eyes of the law, it's more black and white and more rigid. If the feds are looking at other women or even men, and they have interviewed all these people, and the one question is going to be, why did you engage in the freak off with Diddy, or why did you keep going back? Why did you do A? Why did you do B? What made you feel comfortable? Now, I don't know this to be true, but perhaps Cassie, who was there for about 10 years or so, there might be other people the feds are interviewing who said, I only did it because Cassie did it. Now, I know we believe she's a victim. We're not easing up off that point. In the eyes of the feds, you're a co-conspirator. If in your own lawsuit, you said Diddy told you to recruit, well, what proof do you have that Diddy told you to recruit? If all the receipts of you bringing in prostitutes, gigolos, you're the person contacting them, not Diddy, it might look legally like you're recruiting too. Do you get what I'm saying? It might look like you're complicit, more than complicit. You're a co-conspirator. You're Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's saying leaking this tape goes to show that Cassie was under duress, was not operating at her own free will, and actually, if she did anything, which there probably is going to be proof of recruiting, or remember, we think that he's going to get charged with sex trafficking. If Cassie's the one recruiting them, probably tell him, yo, come from this state to this state, she's recruiting too. Like, that would be technically a sex trafficking charge for her too. Okay. So he says she essentially, in his opinion, is a co-conspirator. She probably took part in many situations where there are allegations of misconduct. Leaking the tape, and he basically said she leaked it, and now the statement reinforces her position that she had no choice on the matter, and thus tries to avoid any criminal liability. He said, this is some inside baseball based on my experience in these situations. So by the way, get your feelings out of this. Get your, oh, you're not protecting women. No. Get your feelings out of this. This is just analyzing legal situations. He says, based on a tape leak and the statement, and I agree with this too, he says she most likely does not have a immunity deal yet. Which, that would make sense to me, because even though they got paid, Cassie's lawyer keeps commenting on everything, once again positioning Cassie as, yo, didn't we tell you this? Didn't we tell you this? Well, y'all told us in a civil proceeding that y'all willingly accepted money to settle, and that you basically also signed an NDA to not talk about. So, why are you then trying to position it as, didn't we tell you this? It would make it seem like maybe Cassie's team, which I do think she's going to get an immunity deal, of course. Like, for this indictment to ever get, presented, it's 100% Cassie has to have an immunity deal, because why the hell would she cooperate, right? But I do think they're probably playing all their cards on deck right now, and they probably just haven't given. I'm with Bradford Cohen. They probably just haven't had her sign off on the cooperation deal or the immunity deal yet, right? It says, based on a tape leak and a statement, she probably doesn't have an immunity deal yet, but I'm sure her team is angling for one. All these actions are the work of an experienced, skilled criminal defense team. I tip my hat all the way it has been played. To the way it has been played. That being said, this analysis is not saying domestic violence is okay or condoned in any way. Just looking at what's really going on here in the situation and the leaked tape. I did see him respond to a couple other people, and someone says, yo, exactly the response I expect from a Trump guy. He says, yo, I think everyone believed her. That is why the lawsuit was settled in 5 hours. I don't think there was a person that was the average observer that felt she wasn't telling the truth. It was a detailed complaint. That wasn't the purpose of the release of the video. I agree. I don't think no one needed to see this video to be like, oh, Cassie wasn't lying. I don't think no one called Cassie a liar. If any kind of conversation that was either served to play devil's advocate or maybe undermine her at all, they were saying, oh, well, Cassie, she was probably into that shit too. No. She's getting her ass beat. She wasn't, I heard Vlad said he talked to somebody who knew Cassie, who said Cassie was into some of the freaky shit. After you see this, it don't look like it. It don't look like it, right? All right. So he's answering a few things. He says there should be no way she should have a plea deal. No way. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaked that tape. He says that's not how Southern District works. By the way, I agree. This is the same district that indicted the 9 Trey gangsters with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine agreed to cooperate the day after he got locked up. He did not sign his deal until months later. That is very interesting to know. They wore 6ix9ine out, Pulse. They had him confess everything in a book. Verbally, they said they would have done it, but his deal wasn't really secure yet. And even though it's a little bit different because he was reliant on a 5K1 letter. That's very different. 5K1 letter is a letter of cooperation, not an immunity deal. Which, by the way, there was an immunity deal in there, but it was immunity not for the crimes of gangsterism like shootings and shit like that. It was he had immunity during one of the sessions where he could tell them anything he did pass, and he told them about domestic violence. And if you look at his plea deal, it's all blacked out. It's redacted, but that's him telling the lawyers or telling the AUSA that, yeah, I used to beat my girl up, I punched her in the face here, blah blah blah. He could never be charged federally on those allegations. So he did have an immunity deal along with his 5K1 letter, which is a cooperation deal. This is just about immunity deal. It's expected that you wouldn't charge Cassie. Your case would look so stupid if you charged Cassie. So it's probably just all about an immunity deal, which means they're probably trying to scare her a bit, just to get her to cooperate to the fullest extent to make sure they get Diddy at this moment, right? Okay, let me see what else. It says, as an attorney, this is what someone says, as an attorney, would you ever show empathy for an abuse victim? I see what you're saying, but we can see his treatment of her. She may have been in threesomes or whatever, but I doubt she beat someone to that extent. He's been sued, not her. I know you're a good attorney for woman beaters. And he responds by saying, this isn't a question of empathy. Of course, I have empathy for victims of domestic violence. This is a legal analysis of why the video was leaked, which I do think that is a very important question. Because initially when the video was leaked, people said, well, maybe the feds don't have a case. Because if this could be a video that could be a bombshell that you drop in court when the indictment already hits, why leak it now? And people are like, well, number one, her memory was impeccable. I remember, what's the name said that? I forgot his name in small. I just mentioned him not too long. So her memory was impeccable, which means she probably seen this video. And number two, it makes no reason why the feds would leak this video. Some people were saying, oh, it's because they can't charge him with anything in the video. That's not true. Domestic violence or simple battery, yeah, that has a 3-year stipulation, which obviously LA County is not going to do. But the feds, they could always charge kidnapping, right? They could always charge kidnapping, and they could always charge aggravated assault as well. You know what I mean? So the feds could use this video. So why did it leak? Right? That's the question. Why did it leak? And I think this guy just gives a good perspective, you know? Somebody says, but didn't law enforcement... Okay, he didn't respond to that. He responded to a couple of... Okay. Esquire Morenita. He says, as a AUSA... Ooh, is this a... That's an AUSA? I don't know if it's AUSA. Anyway. He says, I'm very disappointed in this response from you, my friend. And he says, this is a classic criminal defense move. The videos were possessed by her attorneys. It didn't just appear on CNN. It was leaked. Why was it leaked is the question. And the answer is because she has some exposure in the case. This leak helped that exposure. That's what I'm looking at. I don't doubt she was a victim of abuse at all. The bigger picture is that she has to convince the government that she had no choice but to partake in the activities they may be investigating. I think that's a brilliant point. You see, the thing with, like, you know, this whole case against Diddy, it gets so emotional that people can't take away emotion to talk about either criminal charges or maybe the criminal proceeding, right? Or talk about the law. It's all about, you know, this tugs at your heartstring if you have a heart. If you have a heart, like watching a woman get brutally beat down like that and dragged, like you know, you'd be a fucking piece of shit if you defended this, right? But, you know, if you're trying to discuss the legality of it, you got to like put to the side your feelings just to discuss that, and then afterwards you'd be like, yeah, he's still a piece of shit, whether he gets charged or not, right? Somebody said, what the fuck is wrong with you? He says, well, I have 27 years of dealing with these situations and looking at it from the legal perspective. That is what's going on in the situation. So let's see how it all unwind. And then you can private message me that I was correct. She's angling to be a witness and not a co-defendant. Okay, someone else says, I could be missing something, but I thought this was leaked as a result of the raid on his properties. Y'all are saying Cassie leaked the footage. He says, this wasn't a result of the raids on the home. I'm starting to agree too. He says he also has other victims, including the mother of his children. Are you going to accuse them of all too before you hold their attacker accountable? See, this is all emotion right here. Media of Cassie being hurt has been circulating for years before this. What do you mean? And the guy says, I think you're confusing issues. I'm simply pointing out why the video was leaked and analyzing the statement she made. I believe when an indictment comes down, there will be significant legal issues involving a slew of people, including Cassie. I agree with that too. I think what Diddy, so as Diddy's team, as they fight this in like, you know, a preliminary hearing, right? They're gonna raise a lot of points. Well, if I was running a sex trafficking organization, but I never procured any of the people y'all are saying got sex trafficked, and it was actually procured by the person y'all are calling the victim, Cassie. Cassie hit them up. Cassie set up their flights. Cassie gave them the cash app or paid them, right? If she's not getting charged, how am I getting charged if there's no proof of me telling her to do it, right? I would imagine that type of thing of Diddy's lawyers trying to angle out of it. You know what I mean? Of course they're gonna bring that up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how the attorneys brought up in the C-Day and Rondo number 9 case and say, yo, like part of getting out of a case is also pointing finger at other possibilities that the government or the prosecutors haven't properly did their due diligence to flush out. Hey, how you know that? How you know I was a shooter when they described the shooter to be that nigga? You know what I mean? Why you ain't check him? It's kind of what the Rondo and C-Day thing is, right? They're trying to get the appeal on that. I would imagine Diddy's lawyers would be saying, hey, I'm Diddy. I didn't know nothing was going on around me. I didn't know these people were into freak shit. You don't have me on tape requesting nothing, paying for nothing, telling no one to go get a specific person. That was just Cassie. He's going to try to throw Cassie under the bus. And I think this is the government trying to make sure that, hey, yo, we got to really go through with Cassie to make sure that this doesn't blow up in their face where now Cassie, Cassie could be seen by the jury as the possible co-conspirator who's now making the rich guy take the fall. Also, keep in mind, the same thing, not obviously not to the same extent, but think about the whole thing with what am I talking about? Meg Thee Stallion and Kelsey. I would imagine that the prosecutors probably did that with Kelsey as well. Probably said to Kelsey, yo, Kelsey, check this out. When this goes to trial, we do know that Tory's gonna say he didn't shoot no gun. And if he can't say that Meg shot herself or shot the gun, he's going to say you shot the gun. So either we're charging you or you're going to cooperate to the point to let us know you're a victim too. That's when she says to them, yo, he beat me too. Remember, she never said it in court, but remember that first recording, that long recording that they played, the 45 minutes or whatever? She said that Tory hit her. She said Tory hit her. She said Tory hit her and Meg, right? What does that do? Oh, okay. It makes her the victim. She's an additional victim rather than a co-conspirator. Because here's the thing. Imagine if the story was Tori and her were wrestling for a gun. The gun goes off and shoots Meg, and she was fighting Meg right before, which people believe, but that also wasn't mentioned in court. And also, she didn't tell the prosecutors that she was fighting with Meg either, right? If that's the case, they're going to be like, oh, so if both of y'all hand is on the gun and the shot goes off, we're charging both of y'all. But it was important for Kelsey and her lawyers to make it clear, I was a victim too. I was a victim. So I think just from a legal perspective, obviously this is a Fed case, obviously it's about sex trafficking, and this is a lot more, is hazier. It's not just one incident with the Tory thing. There's a whole litany, a bunch of shit. This is also important that Cassie and her lawyers make it very abundantly clear to the AUSAs that they are the victim, right? And maybe with that is leaking that video. Anyway, let me see. Was there anything else he said? He was answering to a bunch of people. So somebody says, so wait, so her getting her ass beat makes her Ghislaine Maxwell? He says, no, Mr. Pillow Hands. He said the release of the videos was strategic. That was what the comment was based on. I like your art, by the way. And, yeah. And then he also says, this is criminal law 101 and leaking the tape. I believe she will be an unindicted co-conspirator and listed through the indictment, okay? This is a way to mitigate what will eventually be coming out when it is eventually charged. Yeah, I think he has a very interesting take, and it's crazy how people are so much in their feelings that they're neglecting the fact that this guy is a seasoned criminal defense attorney. Let me see if I can find any interviews he's done on the matter. Bradford, Cohen, Diddy. Let's see. Anything? Has he spoken recently? The last he spoke was before the video came out. Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna get him on here. He said he's getting off a flight like around this time, so that's why I don't have him. Here we go.
That they would be subject to a motion to dismiss if they brought those claims in New York City, in the lawsuit in New York City, saying that the rape actually occurred in New Jersey. They would be subject to a new motion to dismiss, saying that venue and jurisdiction is proper in New Jersey, not in New York.
Well, let me just tease that out a little bit. Does that signify to you a weakness in Lisa Gardner's case? Does this sound like there was a mistake that was made, or is this just common? Sometimes these cases change. You have to end a case in one state and refile in another one.
I never believe in just, oh, this is a common occurrence. When someone comes into my office and they're making allegations that are very serious, such as these allegations, you nail down facts. I mean, I go through the facts probably 2, 3, 4 times before I file a complaint, because I know those facts are going to be examined in great detail because of what they are based on. You know, you're not saying, hey, this was a breach of contract. You're accusing someone of sexual misconduct or rape. These are very serious allegations that, generally speaking, and I don't think personally, I never had a case where I made these type of allegations and then I'm like, whoops, sorry, I filed in Florida, meant to file. Never happened to me because, like I said, I go through those facts in such detail.
By the way, and again, I'm also being fair. Maybe this is why they think he's kind of like pro Diddy. Like, he's criticizing the Lisa Gardner lawsuit. You know who filed that lawsuit, right? Black Tie, Mr. Tie. Yeah. Anyway,
that would be impossible. Now,
so
we're talking
so
about
essentially,
this case,
so
it's
essentially,
strange because
so essentially, what he's saying is that one of the lawsuits is filed in the wrong state, and he's like, that's odd. Like, yo, if you know, now granted, I think this guy is taking on anybody who has a story about Diddy. You know, he's just looking for, you know, if you guys don't know, and I'm not speaking about this guy particularly, just this is how I've been explained how pro bono lawyers go. And it's basically like when like these women aren't paying for attorneys. They have these guys coming to them saying, hey, I hear you have a story. I hear you might be a victim. I'm down to file this lawsuit on your behalf. Here's how we go. If we settle without going to court, right? I get like, I think someone told me that they'll get like 35%. So like, say Diddy pays out 100,000, they get 35% of the money. This is usually for these lawyers who are approaching people for pro bono, right? So obviously, the tactic would be just scare these motherfuckers, put some salacious shit in the media. Hopefully they settle. The lawyer gets 35%. Easy cash, freest cash ever, right? Then the rest goes to the victim. If they have to go to trial, any money they procure or they win from trial, they then do 50-50. So if no trial, the victim gets like 65%, maybe even 70, right? If they go to trial, it's damn near 50-50. Do you get what I'm saying? Which again, the majority of these people, it's 100%. You can tell they're not necessarily. I would be shocked if one-fifth of these people are actually paying for the attorneys. The attorneys are just writing up these complaints. And to keep it real, you can tell there's a bunch of complaints that's being written up. They haven't really gone further than the complaint, which makes it to the media, but it doesn't go any further anyway.
What's happening with Sean Combs, and I said this originally, right? So back when all of this was happening with Cassie and the allegations were coming out, and I've heard like rumors on the street that she wanted to sue, but she didn't sue yet.
And by the way, just to be clear, Cassie Ventura was filed one of these initial lawsuits against Diddy. She settled with him the next day she accused him of sex trafficking and sexual assault.
Correct. So when that happened, when it was kind of a rumor that she wanted to file a lawsuit, I spoke with several people not in his orbit, but in an orbit that's similar to his, and I said this should be settled. Like these accusations, even if they're not true, they're so grandiose that he's going to lose sponsorships, he's going to lose this. Even if they're completely false, this is something you settle. I don't know what advice he got in terms of settling or not settling, but she ended up filing that lawsuit, and then it was open season on Sean Combs. And that's what I predicted, that it would be open season on Sean Combs. And that's what happened. Everyone under the sun filed lawsuits against Sean Combs. Whether or not they're true or false, that was the key to open the door to the people rushing in to sue him.
And that's a fair assessment, and we've talked about that before. Again, not going to the gravity of the accusations or the credibility of them. I do think it's interesting the way that you're laying it out, because it seems to me, wouldn't a judge look at this and say, again, why are you asking to move this case? Because the first part of your analysis was it might be to buy themselves more time to file a legal response, which wouldn't be, I think, a satisfactory or adequate reason to switch jurisdictions. Would a court look at this and say something's not right here?
Courts always look at that, but you're limited to what's on the page, right? You're limited to the four corners of the complaint or the four corners of the document.
Oh, Chad, he hit me back. He said, he could do 7 o'clock. Oh shit, nice. Yo, I really, me and him started off like we were beefing because he was repping Kodak, and he used to like post off Kodak's page. And I remember one time like he got into it. He's like, "Yo, why don't you ever post anything positive?" And I remember, I think I even came on show. I was like, "Man, shut the hell up, nigga. Go do lawyer shit." And honestly, I've just watched his work more and more and more, and fuck whatever like little disagreement I had with him. Like this dude's a really good attorney, like really fucking good attorney. I kid you not. By the way, like, we could even go back to his page and we could see all the people he got off of like some wild shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, he got Rod Wave off some shit. Remember Rod Wave that got arrested? And he basically had the police come out and say that they made a mistake. Like they literally came out and said they fucking made a mistake. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, nah, I gotta tap in with this nigga right here. Remember when they locked up Rod Wave and it was a shooting shit? And they were like, oh, and I was like, yo, Rico's coming. They apologized. Remember they locked up Kodak, which is his son? And Kodak is like, they said they had Kodak with white substance around his mouth or his nose or something. And basically they came out and apologized and be like, oh, it's not, it wasn't coke. Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, when you have a lawyer that is having the cops and everybody just kind of back down on whatever they're claiming initially, that's lit. Anyway, but he said 7, so hopefully we could get him on here. We could really, have a good qualitative talk. If yeah, I'm gonna see if what's the best way to get him on here, Chad. I'm trying to figure out the best way. Like, what could I use to just... Because I don't know if he got Discord, you know what I mean? Like, he's an older dude type shit. Well, what's the best way to get him on here? And we could talk to him about mad other cases, because he comments about a good amount. I seen him comment on the Young Boy case. We could ask him what's going on with the Jeffrey shit. Yeah, we could ask him about a lot of... Somebody said Zoom? Microsoft Teams? Okay. We're gonna try. Just give me a second, chat. My bad. Somebody said Zoom for... Yeah, I got Zoom, but it's on this computer. I don't got it up there. Maybe I can do like a... Maybe he got a Zoom link. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, let me keep playing this.
For, again, not going to the gravity of the accusations or the credibility of them, I do think...
Yo, he definitely just asked me. He's like, is it Zoom? Fuck, I gotta see. Do I got Zoom on this computer? Nah, I'm downloading Zoom for him. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm definitely downloading Zoom. Say, I'm finna download Zoom. I'm getting professional now, chat. Zoom Workplace. Here we go. My bad, chat. We're about to get Mr. Bradford Cohen on here. And I feel like I play ghetto attorney so much that to have a real attorney and a real attorney that represents so many clients, it's worth it. It's worth it, right? And by the way, I do know there's a bunch of attorneys that watch me. Please, if you do watch me, let me see, how can I sign in? Maybe this is my... I can't see my login, right? Fuck. I have Zoom right here. Let me see. Give me 1 second, chat. Okay. I think I know it. Bang. Yo, what happened to Skype? Niggas still use Skype? Fuck. That don't work? Oh, shit. Ooh, I'm in. That's what I'm talking about. New meeting. Yeah. New meeting. Dang. Oh, we lit. No, this is great. Join audio, join computer audio. Mic check. Okay, perfect. And I can turn my video on afterwards. Okay, what's the link to this? Yeah, chat, we're gonna do this. But I know I got some great attorneys in here too who be watching. Some of y'all give me credit sometimes, be like, yo, act. You know, for a nigga who never went to law school, like, you're not that bad. Sometimes you don't get it all the way right, but you try. Thank you for that. Okay. How do I share? How do I share the meeting? Hold on. Meetings. How do I share the meeting? Okay. Join. Oh. In progress. How do I fucking...
Going on,
so
bro?
it's a MySpace Live? Stop playing me, chat.
What's going on?
Chillin', man. What's good?
Is there an invite button?
All right.
Hey, how was it last night, man, with the win?
Participants. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I
Invite.
slept through it all.
Oh, copy invite
Hey,
link.
you missed it, man?
Yeah.
Hey, don't feel bad.
I
So
was
did
out,
I.
bruh. I was out.
Sure, I can't see my
It
password.
probably tore up a lot of shit.
Hey, KD. So my wife said, baby, there was so much wind last night. I said, really? What time was this?
Yeah.
She said like around.
Sorry, Chad. I know it's a little bit.
Well, you slept
boring.
Good. So did I, bro.
Yeah.
I swear this is gonna be good though. This is gonna be good.
I ain't paying attention to the weather. I was just worrying about the building and nothing happened. Nothing happened.
There you go. Well, you know what, my brother?
Yeah.
I think 5 people.
You know, we talking about Diddy right now.
For real?
But we about to have
I think three adults.
actually about to have an actual attorney
Something like that.
get on here.
Wow.
Here in Denton County.
All right. Okay.
That's sad.
Yeah.